Palisades Park lost 3 of their top scorers from last season, and their head coach, Mark Cieslak, he stepped down. So it had a lot of people saying that Palisades Park was going to have an off season. Well, too bad nobody told Palisades Park. They're off to another great start. They're undefeated in the BCSL Olympic and have only lost 1 game so far this season. They were in action against BCSL Olympic rival Leonia. We go to Palisades Park High School, and there are the Tigers. They're fired up for this big game in front of a capacity crowd. So here we go. We pick things up in the first quarter. Danny Glavin is going to show some good passing. Watch the back door to Eve Pavin, and that ties the game up early at 2. Later in the first, more from Glavin and Pavin. This time, he'll find Pavin open for the 3. Eve Pavin would score the first 9 points for the Tigers. They're up 9-7 after 1 quarter of play. Second quarter, here comes Leonia. Wilfredo Munoz will hit this jumper, and Leonia is going to cut Pal Park's lead to just 6. Now, seconds to go before the half. You can't spell Leonia without, well, Leo Garcia, the big 3 there, and Leonia, they're right in it. They're down by 3 at the half. But in the third quarter, Eve Pavin takes over. He's going to hit another 3 from the corner. He had a team-high 23. Pal Park back up by 5. On their next possession, Sean Krakauer, he could also shoot the 3, and that puts Pal Park up by 8 in the third quarter, and Leonia coach Fred Orlowski calls a timeout and tries to regroup things for the Lions. After the timeout, it seemed to work. Ricky Davidson from downtown, and now the lead is once again cut to 5. On Leonia's next possession, Leo Garcia will find Rich Simons, and Simons is going to take it all the way for the layup, and Leonia now only down by 3. We got ourselves a ball game. But things would fall apart for Leonia late. Danny Glavin to Matt Tejada for 3 and the foul. It's a 4-point play. That puts Pal Park up by 8 as he makes the free throw, and that would seal the deal as Pal Park goes on to win this one. The Tiger Zone going crazy for Pal Park. They win 56-43. Eve Pavin with a team-high 23. Matt Tejada added 12 for the Tigers, who are unbeaten in the BCSL Olympic. And taking a look at your BCSL Olympic standings in boys basketball as of January 19th, Pal Park right at the top, 7-0 to start the season. Dwight Englewood not too far behind, they're 5-1, as is Cresskill. Should be a tight race in the final month of the regular season. 3 years ago, the Englewood girls basketball team was just 1-8, and believe me, it left a lot of people in Englewood feeling pretty sad. But 3 years later, they've turned the program around, and now a team that was once sad is pretty happy because now they're 8-1 and looking for their 9th win against Ridgefield Park. We take you to Ridgefield Park, taking on Don Osborne and the 8-1 Englewood Maroon Raiders. Here we go. We pick things up in the second quarter. Maroon Raiders up by 1, and they come out firing. Melissa Reed with the 3. Then later in the second, it's Gina Taylor from downtown. Englewood up by 7. And then one more for good measure, Perry on the miss. But watch Christina Jones grab her own rebound, not once, but twice. Englewood up by 17. Now, seconds to go in the second. Time winding down, and Clarissa Perry pulls up and hits it off glass at the buzzer. And Englewood has a 28-12 lead at the half. Third quarter, RP down 14, but they're trying to make a comeback. That's Liz Quimby. She had 15 points. RP now down by 8. Later in the third, more from the Scarlets. The hoop right there puts Ridgefield Park down by only 6 at the end of 3 quarters of play, and it leaves Coach Don Osborne speechless for a change. Here we go. Fourth quarter, Englewood comes right back. Gina Taylor, another big 3 to put them up by 9. And then on a fast break, it's Taylor again who hits the jumper. Now it's a 16-point game. And then another fast break, it's Melissa Reed with the basket. Too much Englewood as they go on to win this one by a final score of 56-33. Englewood now 9-1 on the season. Clarissa Perry led all scorers with 19 points. Melissa Reed had 15 for Ridgefield Park. Their senior captain, Liz Quimby, chipped in with 13. Taking a look at your BCSL American standings in girls basketball as of January 19th. Riverdale at the top. They're undefeated at 6-0. And then you have a 3-way race for second place. Dumont, Rutherford, and there go those Maroon Raiders. Englewood all within 1 game of first place in the BCSL American. Denise Hadzovich and Cliffside Park welcomes in Fort Lee and Amanda Alvarez, a big-time BCSL American matchup in girls hoops. Here we go. First quarter, Sabrina McLean, the steal, the hoop, and the Red Raiders find themselves up by 8 early on. Next possession for Cliffside, it's Hadzovich who drives to the basket for 2 more. Cliffside Park outscores Fort Lee 14-4 in the first quarter, and Fort Lee's head coach, she's not happy as we go to the second quarter and things don't get any better for Fort Lee. Here comes Cliffside Park attacking again. Maria Montalvo to Maria Suarez for 2. It's an 8-point Cliffside Park lead. A Fort Lee turnover turns into more Cliffside Park points. That's Karina Sanchez who goes coast to coast. Fort Lee committed 8 turnovers in the first half. They're down by 13. But in the second half, different story. Here comes Fort Lee. That's Bindi Parekh with the 2, and they begin to trim the lead on their next possession. It's Alvarez for 3, and now the lead is cut to just 8 as we go to the fourth quarter. It's now a 7-point game. Fort Lee looking to chip away again. It's Alvarez, another big 3. The lead is now just 4 points. Alvarez with 9 points on the night. Still a 4-point game. Brianna Matisic drives to the hole, and that cuts the lead to just 2. It was once a 14-point lead for Cliffside Park. Later in the quarter, it's Matisic again. It ties things up at 40. She finished with 14 points on the night. Under a minute to go. Maria Suarez is fouled, so she goes to the free throw line. She would miss the first, but Suarez makes the second to give Cliffside Park a 1-point lead. So here comes Fort Lee trying to come back. The shot is off. Cliffside Park holds on to the ball, and they hold on for the win. The final score, 44-40. Cliffside Park improving to 3-4 on the season. Fort Lee with an identical record of 3-4 as well.